We're going to get neck deep into some Will linebacker discussion and some Sam linebacker discussion. Can't forget that in the all-important base 4-3 defense. So I jokes aside, for me, is the Will linebacker spot the most important position battle in camp?
So I am not trolling when I say this.
Oh, good.
And it's going to sound like a joke, but it's not.
Okay.
I kind of think it's Jake Moody and Greg Joseph.
All right, scrap the linebacker thing. It's specialist talk.
I'm like,
all right, no, that's fine. We'll do okay. It's fine. Okay, we can do camp battles.
The Niners lost a Super Bowl that went to overtime in part because they missed an extra point.
Don't step on the camp battles pod.
Okay. I'm just saying. Like, I don't. As of right now, I think in terms of offense and defense, yeah, Nick Martin versus D. Winters is probably the most notable battle for a starting spot among the 22 positions. But me personally, I might be more interested in the Jake Moody, Greg Joseph thing because I kind of think that
because you desperately want Jake Moody to fail.
I don't even care. Like, I don't care that much. Like the opinions on Jake Moody are not going, like, no matter what we say or no matter what Jake Moody does, the opinion's not going to change. Like, if the Niners are in the Super Bowl,
this is so much Jake Moody talk for a linebacker podcast.
No,
does Jake Moody have a linebacker mentality?
I just want to get this 1 point off before we go back to linebackers.
Okay, great.
What type of, like, how many kicks could Jake Moody miss during the season before, like, if Jake Moody is perfect all season long, do you still trust him in the Super Bowl?
No, dude, he's host. World? He's screwed. He missed his first, 2 kicks as a pro, missed his first game-winning kick, had another kick that he missed in Minnesota the week after they lost to Cleveland. Is that right?
That's what I'm saying.
And then had the blocked one in the Super Bowl. Nobody's ever, and then had the season he had last year. Nobody's ever going to trust Jake Moody ever.
That's the point I'm making. So, like,
it's the point I would have made in our camp battles pod, but we're just doing it, I guess.
That's the point here. Opinions on Jake Moody are not changing. So, like, it would take an incredible season for everyone observing the 49ers just be like, you know what? Jake Moody nails. Feel great about him. Like, it's just not happening. So we're not going to get to that point. So in terms of camp battles, I kind of think that's the one, because the Niners' new special teams coach, Brant Boyer, has done all he can to completely revamp the special teams crew. If they punt Jake Moody by the end of training camp, I wouldn't be surprised.
Which they might with new punter Thomas Morstead. So thanks. Okay.
Nick Martin.
Shifting gears. Getting out of the car and getting into a different car. Back to the linebackers.
Yep.
Getting off the Vespa and getting into an actual vehicle. I do think that for all the talk of the 49ers defensive line and the revamped defensive line, and we'll talk about that, like, that's obviously extremely important to what the 49ers are doing this offseason or doing this season. I don't think it can get overlooked how, and I say this all the time, how important Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw's dominance in the middle of the field mattered for the 49ers defense. Like, yes, the defensive line was awesome. That's a thing. But having 2 linebackers that are sideline to sideline, good edge setters, can play downhill, and then are so dominant in coverage, you go look at opposing quarterback passing charts, the middle of the field doesn't exist. And that's where so many offenses now are predicated. It's get the ball out quick, middle of the field, between the numbers, easy work. And I think the ability to take that away made the 49ers defense really, really formidable, with respect to defensive lines and secondary. I don't think it's a coincidence that last year they really, really struggled, in part because of their defensive line, but in part because Devondre Campbell was not an effective NFL player. And how many times did we see a run that went for 12 yards and Devondre Campbell was a step late getting there? Big third down completion and Devondre Campbell was a step late getting there. Like, we just saw it time and time again. So, and then on the other side of that, Dre Greenlaw plays that first half against the Rams. It was like, oh, the Niners defense is back. Look at that.
And then Devondre Campbell quits on the team.
And then Devondre Campbell quit. So, jeez, what a wild thing to happen. So, I do think that, you know, they're not huge names, Nick Martin and D. Winters, who I think are probably the two top candidates for that will linebacker job. But I do think if one of those guys emerges as a legitimate NFL starter with a Pro Bowl type of trajectory, I think that is as dramatic of a win for the 49ers defense as like Mykel Williams being good would be.
Yeah, I agree with you. You go back through recent history, the last decade and a half, you can always trace sort of the Niners' defensive success to the strength of their linebacker play. And whether it's, you know, Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman or Fred Warner, and Dre Greenlaw, like it's just that it's super critically important. And one of the most interesting things for the 49ers this offseason is just getting Robert Saleh back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his ability to identify and develop linebackers is one of the best things he did during his first stint with the 49ers.
Yep.
Like, Fred Warner was a third round pick, and he like played some weird like nickel strong safety position at BYU before he even switched to linebacker, and then became, I think, indisputably one of the best 2 or 3 inside linebackers in all of football. And now has been paid like it. I think the 49ers are hoping that Robert Saleh can do something similar with Nick Martin as he did with Dre Greenlaw and identifying him. And there are some similarities, I think. Like, the big difference, though, like Nick Martin had 2024 when he dealt with an injury and missed a bunch of time. But his 2023 season was kind of similar to what Dre Greenlaw was in his final season at Arkansas. Like, in 2023, Nick Martin was all Big 12, led the Big 12 in tackles, led the team with 6 sacks. Like, had he replicated that season in 2024, he would have been talked about like an entirely different prospect.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, being a year removed from that, there are some question marks on top of where the 49ers drafted him, right? Like, if they took Nick Martin in the 5th round, then I think we'd all kind of look at it like, oh, this is like Dre Greenlaw redux almost. But they took him in the 3rd round, which speaks to the level of conviction they have, while the quote unquote media consensus was like, this dude is a day 3 pick, not a day 2 pick where they took him. But I'm optimistic on what he can be based on like his athleticism and that production from 2023. Like, I'm really interested to see how good he can be. Yeah. But there's also risk because, let's face it, he looks like a safety, like his physical build.
He is not a big person.
How is that going to hold up against, you know, when he has to take on guards and tight ends and stuff? Like, can he develop the strength that he needs to be productive in those scenarios?
And just to drive that point home, shout out to Mock Draftable. He is 5'11 and a half. That is 6th percentile in height among linebackers. He is 221 pounds, which is 2nd percentile among linebackers. Now, I'm really interested to see how that translates, just his pure size. But Kyle Shanahan called him the best run and hit linebacker in the draft, which leads me to believe, okay, there's just some kind of football IQ, some instinct there with the speed at his size that just makes him really effective in that realm, with moldable tools to, okay, maybe he's not elite in coverage, but with Robert Saleh back and with some coaching, you can coach those things up. And there's just some kind of non-coachable qualities to his game that really show up in 2023. And I wonder if we're going to be sitting here in a couple of years and maybe his size is prohibitive and he just cannot hold up at the position. That's on the table. Or maybe he's just not good. But I think that one of the things we get to in drafts is we get so caught up in the measurables, in the 40 times, in this and that. And we overlook, and I say we because me as well, overlook, oh, can he play? Is he good at the sport? And I think Nick Martin might just be really damn good at football. And I think that's kind of what the 49ers are betting on with the things he's lacking as outside of his size as coachable things that they can take his tools and make him an effective all-around linebacker.
And I think he's also going to have enough runway to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's like really the only guy standing ahead of him on the depth chart as of right now, July 16th, is D. Winters, who I think is about as average of a linebacker as you can have in the NFL right now, maybe with some upside. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if D. Winters was a lot better this year. But I don't know that you're counting on D. Winters to make some big leap into somebody you think about extending on or signing to another contract and being like, this guy's going to be, a starter for us for the next 3 or 4 years. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily view D. Winters that way. And I think it's pretty clear in the drafting of Nick Martin that the Niners don't view D. Winters that way. So I think for Martin, there's opportunity for him to win and start right away. Like, we talked to George
That's their
Kittle.
hope, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
We talked to George Kittle in Tahoe at the golf tournament last week, and one of the things he said that stood out was like he's expecting this draft class to contribute like as much as his did, and like in their rookie seasons, right? And you remember like his draft class was, I forget, was Dre Greenlaw in?
No, Greenlaw was 19.
19, okay.
But so, George Kittle's class was Solomon Thomas.
Right.
That was Akello Witherspoon.
C.J. Beathard.
Reuben Foster. C.J. Beathard. Trent Taylor. I think DJ Jones? DJ Jones, I think, was 18. But still, a lot of, and then there were a couple undrafted guys in there too, I think in 17. But a lot of guys from that class played a lot.
Yeah, and the Niners have had a number of rookies, regardless of when they were drafted, contribute right away. So, like, for Kittle to say that, like a lot of times, I don't know, it was notable to me because a lot of times it's just like, yeah, he's a young guy. We don't know, if they'll come in and they got to play well to earn their opportunity. He was like, no, we're going to need this draft class to, like, contribute from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Nick Martin is absolutely one of those guys.
Yeah, I think it's also kind of telling with D. Winters. Now, D. Winters did receive an 80 coverage grade from PFF last year. That's more of what's the standard green color? Like grass green?
It's like a lighter, like Kelly green.
Yeah, but it's a little darker, I think, than a Kelly green.
Not quite a forest.
No, not between Kelly and forest, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good grade.
Thanks. So that's in 180 coverage snaps. Yeah, no, thank you. So I that's kind of interesting to me, but if the 49ers really believed in D. Winters as a long-term piece for them, I think he's going to be in the mix this year for the starting will job. And just to keep this in mind, just for the interest of fairness, D. Winters, 3rd percentile in height, 9th percentile in weight among linebackers, according to Mock Draftable. So not like he has some huge advantage in size. I think if the 49ers believed in D. Winters as a long-term piece of the puzzle for them, he would have gotten a shot at the starting will linebacker job last year.
Right.
They might have given him a chance before going, okay, we're going to sign a veteran and bring him in and he's going to start. Now, it became clear when Devondre Campbell quit the minute he wasn't starting anymore why the 49ers didn't give somebody else reps at that starting job in camp. But I do think that's telling that they went into last year going, okay, we're going to sign a guy and not give any opportunity to D. Winters this year. He's just not there yet. I think that's kind of telling.
Yeah. And it might be too that Nick Martin this year, you remember like Navarro Bowman didn't start as a rookie.
Right.
When they drafted him, he was kind of a special teams guy, and then he started his second season and then was instantly like a Pro Bowl type guy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm not trying to say Nick Martin's going to be a Pro Bowl player. I'm just like, in terms of the trajectory of getting to the starting lineup, it might be that Nick Martin is just like, oh, this dude's just going to be like a special teams demon his first season. And then, in year 2, then he takes over the starting spot. I think there's kind of a range of outcomes for that too. And like the depth, I don't really feel great about the depth. I mean, maybe Tatum Bethune, 7th round pick last year, who played a decent amount, can develop a little bit, but he's currently like your 4th linebacker. Curtis Robinson coming off the ACL tear. I know the Niners have loved him in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me he's more like a special teams guy.
I'm looking at the linebacker roster right now. It's Fred Warner. I think you circle Nick Martin and D Winters for the reasons we just listed. And then it feels like special teams guys.
Yeah.
It feels like various versions of Zeke Turner, who's a linebacker the 49ers signed, who is a special teams ace for the Cardinals, who didn't make the 49ers roster last year. But like Tatum Bethune, Stone Blanton, Luke Gifford, Jalen Graham. Okay, special teams guys, man.
Is the worst thing to ever happen to Jalen Graham, and worse, like we're talking relative, like football,
right?
randomness.
Yeah.
Is it the worst thing to happen to Jalen Graham? Scott McLuhan telling Matt Barrows that he loves this guy.
Yes. Oh, he should have. Oh my God, he can stand up. He can rush off the edge. There's nothing this guy can't do. All right, Scott, I'll buy it.
Yeah, here's the thing. When Scott McLuhan says it, you buy it.
Yeah, bro. I said, yeah. But the thing that with Jalen Graham was that rookie year in preseason, he made some plays where you're going, oh, this guy's a player. Like this guy might be a legit NFL linebacker, and that was it. He had a couple of splash plays in training camp or in the preseason that made you feel good about him as a rookie, and then he was I think a healthy scratch the entire year.
Well, didn't he go to another team
last year?
Yeah.
In his second year, he went to Washington. Yeah, he followed Adam Peters. Or Adam Peters followed him, whatever. And then re-signed with the 49ers. So I'm off of Jalen Graham Island. Maybe as a Sam linebacker, maybe he's in the mix there, but we were all
all part
of
property.
It. Yeah, sold it back to Scott. So Scott, brother, I was promised a view of a lake.
Has it been talked about enough that Fred Warner played last season on a broken ankle?
I don't think so. Like because in my head, Warner didn't play well last year. And then and he's first team All-Pro. And you go see some of the plays he made late in the year. Still trying his ass off, by the way. Salute. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, he had every reason in week, 12, 13 to be like, to hell with this. I'm getting this surgery or whatever I'm going to need. I don't know if he needed surgery or whatever, but I'm done. I'm done for the year. He just played it out.
Well, you remember, too, like the first, month, 6 weeks of the season, it was like, is this guy going to win Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes.
Like, he was making some absurd plays, some absurd interceptions, some absurd plays in coverage. It was like the peak Fred Warner, like, oh, is this guy just going to be like a Hall of Famer? Like, is that where this is headed? And then, he chipped a bone in his ankle. I don't know what the injury was, but it was pretty wild that he played through it during a 6-11 season. Can Fred Warner win Defensive Player of the Year this year?
Ooh, yeah. I'm not putting anything past Fred Warner.
I kind of think from like a narrative perspective, it's set up like, oh, like if the Niners finish with a top 5 defense and they're 12-5 and they're, they win the NFC West or whatever, top 5 defense. Wow, the Niners turned over basically their entire defensive line. Wow, they have this young secondary. They lost Charvarius Ward. Wow, he helped develop Nick Martin next to him.
You sound like you're being sarcastic right now.
No, they're like these narrative elements.
Yeah, I got you.
To be like, if the Niners have a top 5 defense, Fred Warner balls out, you could be like, yeah, Fred Warner, that's a hell of a case.
Yeah, and if it feels like if a linebacker is going to win Defensive Player of the Year, there needs to be a couple of primetime moments. There can't be anybody else that stands out defensively. Nick Bosa can't have 18 and a half sacks.
Right.
Because that would, but if Nick Bosa's got 14 sacks and Michael Williams pitches in 7 or 8 and Bryce Huff pitches in 6 or 7, and it's just kind of like a collective effort up front, and Fred Warner's got 3 interceptions and he forced a fumble on Monday Night Football to clinch a win, and I could see that for sure, especially since he's reached the threshold of everybody knows who he is. Like, he's a household name now.
Yeah.
He's not trying to break through and everybody go, oh, he's good. Like, no, everybody knows Fred Warner's awesome. So it wouldn't, I think it would take a pretty specific scenario, but I don't hate the idea.
It's tough for a linebacker because an edge rusher, you can just like, oh, this guy led the NFL in sacks.
Right.
And it's like, I don't want to say it's cut and dry, but like it's almost easier in that scenario. Like Fred Warner would have to like lead the league in tackles, like have a dark indigo blue pass coverage grade with a couple picks, from PFF.
Yeah.
And like some highlight plays, like score at least 2 touchdowns and force some fumbles or interceptions, whatever. Like as a linebacker to win it, you have to do more than just a defensive end who, has 18, 20 sacks, whatever it is.
Yeah, you have to fill up the stat sheet, have a couple of like signature moments.
Yeah, and the defense has to be elite. It has to be a top 5 defense.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot that Patrick Surtain, the second, won Defensive Player of the Year. That's crazy.
It's a tough if you like try to remember who won it each year. It's tough.
Yeah.
NFL awards are kind of tough to remember.
I agree. I super agree.
Off the top of your head, you know who won NFL MVP last year?
Yeah, it's Josh Allen.
Okay.
That one I've got. That one I've locked in.
Okay.
Because Lamar Jackson was first team All-Pro, but not MVP.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I was in Tahoe, and it was like Josh Allen. Someone was like, oh, there's the MVP. I was like, oh, yeah, Josh Allen won MVP.
You're like, Lamar's here? I know he golfs.
Well, I'm such a stickler for winning. It's like the only thing. It's like Super Bowl or trash, and I'm just seeing a bunch of terrible trash athletes out there, with the exception of the recent Super Bowl winners.
Hey, nice call, by the way, on Joe Pavelski.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a stick.
It was just an absolute stick. Like, it was easy to see early. He won like some celebrity golf tournament in Florida earlier in the year.
Oh, so you knew he was playing well.
He was coming in form. He's retired. He's not like coming off a long hockey season.
Is he the Scotty Scheffler of Owen Nolan's? People are asking.
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so. Just a hell of a guy too. We have a mutual friend, Joe, and myself, and my buddy will not stop raving about what an awesome guy he was. So I know he's like a hell of a golfer, but asked him a few questions in the media stuff, and gave great answers, and
oh yeah,
great dude. But yeah, easy pick.
Nice.
Steph wasn't going to win it again.
No, last year was too magical of a run. He had to make some sick putts.
Oh, and a hole in one. In Stableford, you get 8 points for a hole in one.
Oh.
And he won the tournament by like a single point.
Yeah.
So, like Steph might win it, but he won on the strength of like some wild, the sustainability models, as some talk about in the golf game, were not favoring Steph this year.
Sure.
He would have needed another hole in one and some more eagles, but
I'm surprised that we're getting so off track when we still got to talk about Stone Blanton. Thoughts?
Great name.
Really good name. That's if I'm picking a player on the 49ers roster to just be good based off their name, like Deebo Samuel, They picked Debo Samuel, and you were like, man, Debo Samuel's going to be a player. That's a good name.
Yeah.
Stone Blanton, good name. Good linebacker name. I don't think you can play a different position and be Stone Blanton.
I kind of feel the same way about Fred Warner. Like, Fred Warner, the receiver,
Doesn't play.
yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe tight end. Maybe you could get by as a tight end as Fred Warner.
If you were to just say, without knowing anything about Fred Warner, like someone says, Fred Warner, what position does he play? I was like, oh, he's a linebacker. Fred Warner? Come on, that's a linebacker all day. But like Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Dre Greenlaw, we've said this before, like linebacker names, like they just sound like linebackers. And Stone Blanton sounds like a linebacker. So that's my scouting report.
Okay, here's how we're gonna get to all these, and then there will be a Sam linebacker. We don't know who it's gonna be. My money's on Tatum Bethune. Tatum Bethune, linebacker name?
Yeah, Tatum's a good linebacker name.
I think Tatum Bethune could also be a good edge rusher name.
Yeah, I could see it.
But decent linebacker name. Stone Blanton, we know. Luke Gifford?
Luke Gifford is a tight end ass name.
Oh, it definitely is. It for sure is. Didn't the Niners have a tight end named Luke Gifford one time?
Well, they have Luke Farrell, which is definitely also a tight end name. So.
Oh, definitely. All right. What about Jalen Graham?
Well, that's a linebacker name.
I got running back name on Jalen Graham.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nick Martin?
Nick Martin could be a guard. Nick Martin could be a kicker. Nick Martin could be a quality control coach. Like Nick Martin could be anything. And that's no slant to Nick Martin, but it's not quite Navarro Bowman or Fred Warner level linebacker.
Slight to Nick Martin?
No,
no slight to Nick Martin.
No slight. What'd I say?
Slant? It sounded like you said slant.
Oh, no slight.
I think Nick Martin could be a linebacker name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a linebacker name.
It's very versatile name. Yeah, it's a versatile name. Nick Martin could be a quarterback.
Curtis Robinson? That's a linebacker name.
Yeah.
Ooh, receiver?
I feel like there's been a corner named Curtis Robinson before.
Okay. I've got receiver. Linebacker, good linebacker name, though. Here's a great linebacker name for me. Chaz Surratt. CHAZZSURRATT. Fourth-year guy out of North Carolina.
I'm going punt returner. Chaz Surratt sounds like a punt returner.
I got linebacker on that. That's a good linebacker name. Fred Warner, we got D. Winters.
Yeah. Winters kind of like, we're doing a Game of Thrones rewatch in the household right now.
Nice.
Winter is coming. Like D. Winters, kind of like spooky, intimidating. I like it.
Okay.
For a linebacker name.
All right.
People who are like listening to the podcast for the first time are like, these dudes.
This is the in-depth analysis you're going to get.
These dudes are so weird. Yeah, next we're going to talk about socks and whether or not guys are wearing good numbers. Don't worry. We saved the numbers until the 53-man rosters are announced for the regular season.
Yeah, because we know that who had a trash ass number? There was some rookie who I was like, no chance.
Was it Renardo Green? Where he picked 0.
Derek Canteen, undrafted rookie from Cincinnati, cornerback, currently wearing 40.
Yeah, that's tough.
I hate that. Derek Canteen, cornerback ass name too. Corey Kiner, running back, wearing 49, undrafted rookie.
I feel like they give that number to like it's almost like an annual thing. Like the undrafted rookie running back gets number 49.
Jacob Robinson, undrafted rookie cornerback, also wearing 49.
Yeah.
And this is why we wait until the 53-man is out to really
right, because then these guys correct these obvious mistakes.
Yeah.
And, I forget what Renardo Green was wearing before they gave him 0, but it was bad. And then he got 0, and I was like, okay, this is...
now he can play. Yeah, for sure. Tampa Bay going to their 1976 throwbacks is one of the best things that happened in the NFL this offseason.
Are those the creamsicles?
Yeah, but they're the road whites. So they're white with the
nice.
orange number with the red outline.
Okay.
White helmet, orange face mask. Very good.
Hey, the Niners are going to have like new alternate uniforms that they were supposed to announce in June, and they haven't been announced yet. And I'm wondering what the deal is.
Dude, I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't know
I
either.
think they're gonna be like cream colored. I think like that. Remember they
Yeah.
announced like the new color scheme and like
What did they
cream was very
call it?
prominent.
What did they? Except it's not cream. It's like prospector tan, or some or some shit like that.
I think it
Yeah.
was gonna be Color Rush esque and like a cream uniform. And I think they might, and don't quote me on this, but if they change their helmets or have like an alternate helmet and move away from the gold helmet, just
Disaster.
an all time calamity.
I'm trying to find the name of this color that they announced.
Yeah, they
Um,
did like this rebranding and announced like these logos and fonts and
it was a
stuff, but they didn't
brand refresh.
refresh. Sorry, not a rebrand.
That's what it was called. It's a rivalries jersey.
Yeah.
Have they just like eliminated this from existence?
Did they scrap it?
I can't, oh no, here we go. Visual. This is good podcasting.
Yeah, really good.
Visual refresh. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
I found it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Embracing our history of innovation, the versatile and resilient nature of gold, floating SF, faithful script. Here it is. We have primetime black. We have
Okay.
gold rush. We have gold rush gradient. We have Montana red.
What is Gold Rush Gradient? Is that
I
gold?
think it's what the helmet is going to be, but it's like, this is my guess, but it's like textured.
Okay.
Like it looks textured, like a gold
Gradient
piece.
gradient in uniforms is always bad.
So it's called Gold Rush Gradient. We have Montana red, obviously. Shout out to Joe. Whether that's Chiefs or 49ers red, that's up for you to decide. The color we were looking for is Heritage Cream. Yikes.
I put some Heritage Cream in my hair the other day. It really likes a little sheen. It's moldable. Do the comb over.
I have a joke to make that I will make off the podcast.
But no, I'm a little. So there should be some journalism done on this. What happened
I
to
totally
the
agree.
third uniform? What the internet was saying was it was going to be like a cream alternate, maybe something similar to like those bone uniforms that the Rams introduced,
Yeah.
sort of like grayish. I don't know,
There's a lot of
but
maps involved in the visual refresh, which makes me think there's going to be some kind of map element on the uniform.
yeah,
It's going to be a cream colored uniform with a weird like map pattern on it.
like topography, like lines and stuff. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
The fact that nothing has been announced yet sort of makes me think that it's going to get announced like tomorrow. Well, after or before people listen to this, but part of me thinks the reason it hasn't been announced yet is because people started guessing at what it was going to be and they were correct and it got panned before, no pun intended on gold, but it got panned before it even came out and they went, oh no.
Yeah, possible. I think I mean the Niners uniforms, just from a pure like football aesthetic perspective, are as good as they can be, save for the lacking striped socks. And the longtime listeners know how I feel about striped socks. Why they wouldn't just add the striped socks like they did when they won all the Super Bowls in the 80s is beyond me. And the fact that they wear their home red uniforms and the 94 throwback white pants with white socks is the worst thing the Niners do aesthetically. Like, to me, it's as bad as the all black uniforms they wore in the Jim Tom Sula, Chip Kelly days. Like, just go with the striped socks, man. It looks so good. It is the perfect uniform. And they just don't do it. Just a calamity.
Yeah, man.
Negligence,
Oh, yeah.
honestly.
Cook their
Aesthetic
ass.
negligence.
Fry them. Go off, King. That's all I got. I got nothing else on this.
Nick Martin, interesting player. D. Winters, can he develop? So, okay. I think there will be 5 linebackers on the 53-man roster.
Okay.
barring health. Fred Warner, D. Winters, Nick Martin. I'm going to go with Tatum Bethune and Curtis Robinson.
I'm going to guess Curtis Robinson starts the season on PUP. It's going to be those 4 guys, and I think Stone Blanton winds up. Not Stone Blanton. I'm sorry. Luke Gifford winds up making it.
Didn't Robinson suffer his knee injury? Was it like August last year? Was it training camp?
Yeah, I feel like it was early.
I think he should be okay by now.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. TBD.
I think Luke Gifford's going to make the team.
Big Luke Gifford guy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
September 27th is when he tore his ACL.
Okay. So conceivably, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Less than a year.
Yeah, 5 sounds right, though. And
5
it's just
is
going to be
really what they do.
who can play special teams. That's what it'll come down to. D. Winters v. Nick Martin should be fun.
Great time.
Unless Nick Martin is really good and there's just not a battle.
Eyes are going to be locked in on training camp. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep a lookout for those tertiary 49ers uniforms. And we'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.
Blue.